Isla, I was wondering if you might be able to help my friend.
Oh, what seems to be the problem?
I was wondering if you've heard of an affliction known as Era's Plague.
A damaging misnomer, but yes.
It certainly seems like the Enclave had a better understanding of it than the rest of the Maida does. I believe our quartermaster is suffering from it. She's a Kashar like you.
Ah, yes. The condition isn't unique to Kashar, but it's believed we experience it in greater severity due to our unique sleep cycles. I've heard of Ram, Obrun, Ashar, and Kassil alike who've experienced it. The first line of treatment is sleep. Unfortunately, that's difficult for Kashar. Thankfully, a sleeping balm should go a long way to help her. But it's not enough on its own.
How do I get hold of a sleeping balm?
Well, I can make one for you here if you bring me the ingredients. You'll need emerald lucin, a gemstone famed for its ability to radiate peace, and chill feather weave for its cooling properties. In addition to this, you'll need oil membrane for the formula, and of course, red cotton, because it filters the light so that the eyes find deeper rest.
I'll bring you those right away. Sleeping balm. I was never a big believer in healing gemstones myself, but there must be something to it if the Enclave weavers use them in their alchemic practices. red cotton for the balm. Here's everything you asked for.
Just a moment, and I'll prepare the balm. Here you go. And I've written down the recipe for Lane, in case you run out.
Thank you so much.
Have your quartermaster rub a little of the balm on her forehead, temples, and wrists before she goes to sleep. She'll be out in no time.
I hope she's willing to try this.
All you can do is be there. The rest is up to her.
You're right. I'd better get back to camp.
I hope your friend feels better soon.
We all wanted to come together to support you, Casmin. However we can. Do you...
I guess I have been feeling not so great lately. It's hard. I don't know how to tell you what's going on in my mind. Or if I even should.
We're not here to judge. We're here to listen.
You can tell us anything.
It started a while after we came through the veil. Not right away. You all know me. I'm a rock in a crisis. But the aftermath... It's hard for me to come down. Actually, I crashed to pieces in it. I should be stronger, but...
You are strong, Kaz. Falling apart sometimes doesn't change that.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it these days. After the Surgeborn escaped, I just started getting these... thoughts. Visions. So vivid, they feel like premonitions. Our campsite, being razed to the ground in the night. Scrambling to find our gear under attack. Each of us being killed, one by one. And this voice, howling in my ear that it will all be my fault. Unless I do everything in my power to prepare us for it. I know that sounds crazy. But these visions and that voice, it's been getting louder. It keeps me awake all hours of the night. By dawn, everyone else is asleep, even Dam. I'm alone and exhausted. Counting supplies over and over and over. Unable to stop.
That must be lonely.
It is. Opening up to you about this is physically painful. In the spaces between my words, in every pause, it howls at me for being pathetic and incompetent. How come I'm the only one drowning inside this place? No matter what happens, all of you are able to keep doing your jobs. I mean, I'm the only freak going off the deep end. How stupid is that?
You're going through something awful, outside of your control. And until now, You've dealt with it alone. But your decision to be vulnerable and share your experiences with us, that's brave, not stupid.
I don't feel brave. I feel exhausted and sad. But I guess it's nice to hear.
What if we cleaned out the caravan for you while you go rest? Brynn will sit with you until you fall asleep.
I don't know. I don't think I can sleep right now.
I have something that will help. A sleeping balm from the spindle.
Would you be open to trying it?
Maybe, but I'm afraid of what will happen if I go to sleep.
I won't let anything happen. I promise. Do you trust me?
I do. But I've made such a mess of the caravan. I can't let you guys be the ones to clean it up.
We've got this, Casmin. It's okay.
All right. Thank you. This isn't working. I should go help with the caravan.
Shh. Kaz, they're fine. You need to sleep.
But what if Aurea throws away the grains Dan likes for breakfast? Or the sapling uses to rebind their books? Or...
She won't.
I can't just lie here. My skin is crawling. I feel like I might burst if I don't move.
How about we breathe together? Just try it with me.
Fine. So we're fine with Arik just spending all his time in our camp now? Cat.
Hey, you all right?
Yes. There's something I should have told you, so I'll just come out and say it. I was born in the Enclave.
How is that possible?
Oh, luck or tragedy, depending on your perspective. Before I was born, my mother and father lived here happily for several years. But they decided it would be better if my mother raised me with my grandmother and great-aunts for the first few months of my life. So she left with me when I was just a hatchling, with every intention to return.
But the surge happened.
The life I should have had was lost for good. Because of all this, I never knew my father. I don't even know his name.
So, we're going to find out who your father was.
You would help me?
Of course. Maybe Lane would have some ideas on where to start.
Actually, I had an idea myself. The spindle mentioned a statue of my mother. It's clear the Enclave commemorated their champions. I can't shake this feeling my father is among them.
You think there's a statue of your father?
I know it sounds strange, but the handful of times that my mother spoke of him, she described him as this great hero. Since she was one herself, is it so crazy to think she might have meant that literally?
Maybe not. I can scope out the statues in Upper Denevron for a resemblance, if that's what you want.
Good. And thank you.
Aurea thinks her father could have a statue in the Enclave just like her mother. So, I'm looking for a male Oberon that fits our timeline. As impressive as Aurea's lineage may be, we're 200 years off the timeline for Arden to be her father. Not to mention the lack of feathers. Aurea's father is unlikely to be a Casil woman. Besides, when it comes to nurturing parental figures, Ramanos's shrewd eye for politics isn't what comes to mind. Aurea, this must be the statue of your mother that the spindle mentioned.
One of the greatest enchantresses of her time.
That's a lot to live up to. Huh. This statue does depict an Oberon, but it's impossible to tell who it is.
Maybe there's another statue that isn't damaged.
I'll keep looking around the city.
Isn't that the same Oberyn statue you found in the atrium?
Maybe if I burn the vines, I'll be able to see who it is. Matteo Agretius, known for his acts of bravery following the Surge. Could this be your father, Aurea?
Perhaps. Arakim might know how to confirm.
Arik, about those statues in Upper Denevron.
You mean the Friends of the Eye?
No, I was talking about the champions?
Ha! Some of them, maybe. But you could be the most heroic weaver in the world, and unless you're cozying up to leadership, there's no statue being built in your honor.
Huh.
Anyway, what do you want with them?
Well, we're wondering if there could be a familial connection between someone in our band and one of the figures represented on the statues.
You could dive through the archives we've preserved in Caston's Hold on all our heroes. That's the slow, boring way.
Don't let Lane hear you say that.
Or you can compare mantles to see if their patterns are a match.
You can tell two people are related through their mantles.
The spindle could tell you more about the science behind it. But from what I understand, there are similarities across bloodlines in how a weaver's cloth pulls magic from the air. A pattern tracer allows us to analyze those similarities between two weavers' patterns. I'll give you a design for it. Once it's built, take it to the Axle and she'll trace the mantles for you. We've preserved mantles belonging to all our heroes in Caston's Hold.
Thanks, Eric. Aurea will be pleased.
Aurea? For what it's worth, she's twice the weaver any of those statues might claim to be.
So, my moisturizing cream wouldn't happen to be by the forge, would it?
Oh.
Now that we have a pattern tracer, it's time to head to Cassidy's hold.
Arakim mentioned you wanted to compare a mantle with Matteo Agretius?
We'd like to see if he might be my father.
All right. I've set his mantle aside for you. I'll need yours too, and the pattern tracer to perform the test.
You all right?
A little nervous.
I have to say, your mantle is spectacular. Matteo's easily pales in comparison.
Oh, thank you. And, is he my father?
No, I'm sorry. It's not a match.
Oh, I see.
Hey, we'll keep looking. Maybe now it's time to talk to Lane?
You're right. We should consult with them. I just thought... silly. I'll see you back at camp.